Moving on further, more updates coming in from London. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's problems on the Northern Ireland Brexit issue are far from over. Now, former UK Prime Ministers Boris Johnson and Liz Truss are set to vote against Sunak's Brexit deal. Johnson had confirmed that he will not back the deal when UK MPs vote on it, with Truss set to follow him. Johnson believes that the revised plan will keep Northern Ireland within EU's grasp. Truss believes that the framework impinges on the UK's ability to diverge from EU rules. However, reports suggest Sunak is unlikely to face a defeat in the Commons. Experts predict if Sunak relies on Labour's support over the deal in Parliament, it will place a huge dent on his leadership within the Conservative Party. The Democratic Unionist Party and the European Research Group are also set to oppose the government in the first parliamentary vote. Earlier, DUP officials unanimously rejected Sunak's revised plan for post-Brexit trade arrangements in Northern Ireland. For more on this, we are once again joined by Alex Isat from London. Alex, do you feel even if Liz Truss and Boris Johnson, they vote against Rishi Sunak's Brexit deal, do you feel it will dampen the deal for him, or will they still go through?
Well, it's likely that we will see this go through. Currently, they are voting today, and it will be probably around the same time that Boris Johnson is giving evidence. So what we are expecting is that they will be voting on the Stormont break. Now, this break is all about whether the EU or the UK has power over Northern Ireland. And of course, Boris Johnson, who's been a staunch Brexiteer, and Theresa May was put in place to push forward Brexit. So they don't want to be giving over any rules and regulations to the EU, and that's what this Stormont break would potentially involve. Of course, the whole Windsor framework has taken ages to come into fruition, and it does make us a bit more of an even keel with the European Commission, but a lot of those that don't want to back the Windsor framework or the Stormont break suggest that EU does have too much power and they shouldn't be given any more. However, if this doesn't go through, although we do believe it will because there are a lot of people pushing for it, if it doesn't go through, then there is going to be a real issue with the EU. We already have seen this in previous terms, especially when Boris Johnson was Prime Minister, and he was very divisive and very combative against the EU, and that didn't work in the UK's favour. We had a lot of problems with goods coming over across the channel, and of course we are trying to make sure that that channel is safe, and that's obviously a whole different story with the asylum and refugees going on there. So ultimately Rishi Sunak and his government really do want to make sure the EU is on their side, and if this doesn't go through, then it may well be another break and another problem that Rishi Sunak will have to face. There are going to be a lot of backbenchers that are in support of Boris Johnson from the beginning, and he is the one that is saying that he does not want to vote for this to go through. And if there are more backbenchers, Tory members, that also don't want to be voting, then Rishi Sunak does have a fight on his hands. It's going to be, again, the breaking apart of the Conservative Party. And right now, Rishi Sunak doesn't need that for the Conservative Party. And in fact, the UK doesn't need it, because there are many other issues that are continuing to go on, that the country really wants Rishi Sunak to go forward, and those 5 promises that he made are definitely at the top of the priority for most of the UK.
Thank you for all those updates, Alex.